Good morning. We're going to be talking about service processes today. And service processes are related to how services are done in banks, grocery stores, restaurants, and so on and so forth. We would like to understand the characteristics of service processes. We're going to be looking at simple service systems and calculate certain waiting line that's also called queuing. So we're going to calculate some waiting line or queuing related analysis. And we're going to be looking at waiting lines in banks or groceries and restaurants and try to understand how they are managed in those institutions. Every service has a service package. The service is a bundle of goods and services. Like if you want to go to a grocery store, you're going to buy some goods as well as there is a service factor also involved in buying these goods. The bundle usually consists of five different features. One is the supporting facility, the resources that are essential so that the company can offer the services as well as offer the goods. You have facilitating goods, the material that you're trying to purchase, information. You have data or information that is provided, like the price, discounts, so on and so forth. There are explicit services. Explicit services which the companies show to you by giving you a courtesy, good morning, how are you today, that kind of a thing, to what can I help you with, and being polite and showing you different options and then so that you can choose the best option that you want. These are all explicit services. The explicit services also extend after you buy the goods as well. There are implicit services. The implicit services are providing you the prestige that you want to, the privacy that you want to, so on and so forth. Let's look at the operational classification of services. Service organizations are classified according to the customers they service and the service they provide to those customers. Banks are different than grocery stores, even though both of them are service organizations. The banks are going to take the money from you, hold it somewhere, and give it back to you with interest when you need it, and provide you other services like checking and giving you loans and so on and so forth. Whereas in a grocery store, you just go to buy things to consume. And that is a basic difference between these two organizations, right? Similarly, there are many, many service organizations which provide you very differential services. But in all these service organizations, there are two things that happen. One is customer contact. Another one is creation of the service itself and maintaining that service itself. The customer contact is very important in these organizations. Whereas if you are looking at a manufacturing company, the customer contact is often negligible to many people in the organization. The marketing people, the customer service people are the only two who are actually in direct contact with the customers. But look at it this way. Look at a company like Whirlpool. Whirlpool makes dishwashers, refrigerators, so on and so forth. They do not have customers contact at all because where do they sell their refrigerators? They sell their refrigerators at various places like Best Buy or Sears or anything like that. They do not have customer contact. So there are various classifications of these service organizations. In essential, capacity. Capacity is the king in service organizations. Too much capacity generates excessive costs. You remember we talked about capacity management in chapter 4. We're going to extend that here by looking at capacity. Too much capacity generates excessive costs. Insufficient capacity leads to loss of customers. Okay? Seeking the assistance of marketing to influence demand is another way of looking at capacity. Okay? We're going to be looking at simple things like waiting line models. Waiting line models are a common thing that every service organization or every service company has problems with, and we need to look at how we're going to analyze many of these common service situations. So let's take this matrix of service system design. So you have a mail contact. I do not know whether you have seen this before. Long back when I came to this country in the early 1980s, every house used to receive a Sears catalog. These Sears catalog are about 1.5 to 2 inch thick, and they come by mail. And the companies like Sears and JCPenney, they used to contact the customers using such mail things. Even now we have a little bit of junk mail that you get where the service organizations are trying to contact you. But this is a low degree of service contact. The sales opportunity is also very low. I mean, how many people go through the catalog and go through this and order it by calling? Everybody used to go to Sears to order rather than calling Sears to order. But now it is different. The same Sears right now has got emails as well as you have online catalogs. So you can have customers go to online, and it is very convenient. When you look at something, you can order it immediately and you get it to your house. So you don't need to leave the house. So you have this degree of customer contact has, even though if it is low over there in online, but the sales opportunities are very high. Okay. And look at the production efficiency part of it. Production efficiency part of it will be very low if you have customization. Suppose you look at something and you tell the service organization, I want something different. So you go to a restaurant and then you see a menu and then you don't like something in the menu and then you tell them, hey, I want to change this, I want to change that. They would be happy to help you in that, but the time or the production efficiency will be lower over there if you order something like that. That is the basic idea of service system design matrix that we're talking about. The thing that we would like to look at is customer contact, because that is where organizations have touch points with customers. For instance, face-to-face total customization. Okay, the worker requirements, they need to have a lot of diagnostic skills, they need innovative skills, so on and so forth. The technology innovation should be with the client and worker teams to make sure that they come out with such innovations to customize a product. Whereas, let's look at internet. If you look at internet, it is low degree of customer contact simply because you're not, as we talked about earlier, it doesn't have that much of a customer contact on internet because everything is on the systems part of it rather than a personal level part of it. The worker requirements could be like helping skills, demand management, and routing methods where you send those persons off. But this is more like a system kind of a thing rather than person by per se. Okay? Whereas in a phone, you need to have good verbal skills for the worker. You need to have scripted calls so that you can talk to them in a scripted way so you don't go off the script. And then you have good technology like computer databases and things like that. So these are the different contact characteristics of customers. Okay? The automotive service operation will be considered next. So here we have what is called the line of visibility. The line of visibility is there is one part of the line, which is this part of the line, where you have to face the customer. You need to talk to the customer. You need to send emails and you need to contact the customer. Whereas the other part is the work behind the scenes. So this is called a process flow diagram. And the process flow diagram is essential in every organization. So this is of importance to the organization simply because a person who is working in customer, related services can know exactly when to talk to the customer and so on and so forth, or when they need to talk to the customer about bills and money and things like that. So this gives you like a blueprint, and this is the process flow diagram. We're going to be talking about waiting line problems, which are queues. Okay, so queues are everywhere. You go to Disney World, there are a lot of queues. You go to a grocery store, there are a lot of queues. You go to a bank, there is a queue. So we need to find, or the companies or the banks or the grocery stores and things like that, they need to find something somewhere so that it reduces the waiting time, because they need to reduce the waiting time for the customer so that the customers are better satisfied and so that you can have a better throughput. That means it is going to get you more money. So, but reducing waiting time also costs money. So when people are waiting, when customers are waiting, it is very difficult to value their time, and then you're going to lose sales. Okay? Here, we're going to look at the arrivals and service. In any waiting line theory, this is what our problems will be based on. In any waiting line theory, you have arrivals and you have service requirements. You have arrivals, which are basically customers arriving at a particular rate. They come at a bunch, they come one at a time, they might come very rapidly, one after another, so on and so forth. There is an arrival rate. The other thing is a service. You have service at a normal capacity. You expect 12 people over lunchtime, but you're getting 25 people. And now those are the outliers for certain days. But most of the days, you're looking at 12 people, which is normal capacity. So you need to know what is a normal capacity, and so that you can be prepared for something which is exceeding the normal capacity in many times. The waiting line factors would be the number of arrivals, the customer demand, the amount of service, and the service time by the servers. The servers could be tellers in a bank, the waiters in a restaurant, or the clerks, the kiosk clerks in the grocery stores, or checkout clerks as they are called in the grocery stores. These are all the servers. So we're going to look at two people. One is the customer, another one is the server. Okay? How do you manage the queues? The management of the queues is done by segmenting the customers, training the servers to be friendly, informing customers what they should expect,